Hi everyone, Bandanner here. I hope you're all doing well. So today I want to take another look at Against the Storm, and many thanks to Eremite Games and Hooded Horse for the key, so I could take a look at the recent updates to Early Access. Now, some of you may have seen me playing Against the Storm over on Twitch streams recently, but the last video I did over here was when I took a look at the demo quite a while ago. Since then, the team have been hard at work on Early Access and are nearing the end of their extensive roadmap. The recent large update included seals, which not only literally added layers to the world map, but also added a new biome and an element to the overall gameplay loop. For those who are unfamiliar with Against the Storm, it's a cross between a city builder or town management game and a roguelite, in a very dark fantasy setting. I weirdly find it a very difficult game to describe because on the surface it can appear like any other town management game, and in some ways its core gameplay loop resembles that a lot. But it has some really big twists on that theme that set it apart and make it much more of a challenge to play, in a good way might I add. The truth is, the game is a lot deeper than how it initially comes across. The tutorial really only shows you the basics of the loop, for example. You build a village, you must gain enough favour with the queen to win the mission and succeed, and there's also potentially you could fail it I guess, but it's very guided, so you don't have to plan ahead, it's pretty much just handed to you. It's a tutorial, that's what you would expect. Once you pass the tutorial, the game really opens up and you start to realise just how deep the rabbit hole goes. By the way, if you're someone who's already played this game, do leave comments down below what you liked about the game, what you didn't like about it, and indeed how you feel it's set apart from a standard town management game, because I think other people will really benefit from your experience if they're looking into the game. So what is the gameplay loop? Well, you are presented with a world map and you are aiming to spread outwards with villages from the citadel, aiming, as of recent updates, to close the various seals. Every village you complete, you get rewards, including shards needed to close those seals, and experience to level up, and the experience persists through different cycles of the gameplay loop, hence the roguelite aspect. Now, this world map has a variety of biomes, each with its own positive and negative effects, and a very different focus on resources. And each time you play a biome, the resource layout and the amount easily accessible to you can vary dramatically, really changing up the gameplay. You start by selecting a biome tile and then are asked to pick your starting caravan that includes your starting resources and initial villages. And there's also an option here to take additional resources and things using embarkation points. And you get more of these as you level up throughout the game. On this screen you'll also find various tabs which give you a bit more information on the biome, though some of this information remains hidden, at least for now. You also pick your difficulty level here, which obviously alters the amount of reward but increases the difficulty the higher you go up it. And well then, you simply embark. Now once you're in the village map, unless you manage to stumble upon an old abandoned village, you start with just a hearth and a warehouse. Now, the game immediately wants you to make choices, and this is where planning comes into play. It's very hard when you first start to get all the choices right, but this trial and error is a big part of the learning process. And to be honest, it was through my first actual village build that I really gained an appreciation for how this all worked. And I think it's something very hard to get across in a video. But I will try without going into immense detail. So what are these choices? Well, the game has a rather extensive industrial tech tree with multiple buildings that can feed into the same production path and overlap in production of some products. The twist? Well, the game only offers you some of the blueprints. So you have to plan ahead and try to keep track of what you do and do not have the ability to build or produce. Or you can back yourself into a corner and find you are unable to do what you need to do to complete the actual level. And these choices roll over into picking other things like cornerstones that act as passive bonuses or indeed negatives for your village. Again, you want to pick ones that match up with your goals, giving bonuses to the buildings you are actually using or the things you feel are going to directly affect your current village. And the actual goals you are aiming for, well, they come in a variety of forms. Orders that the citadel want completing for favour with the queen, keeping your villagers happy, dealing with things you find in the various glades of the forest, come to mind as just a few. I mean, let's be realistic here, the main overall goal of the village is to gain enough favour with the queen, but there are lots of sub-goals within that. And while you are working out how to do all of that, you still need to be expanding, exploring the glades around you, to gain additional resources because the resource nodes run out, and also you need to handle the ongoing variable stormy weather. I mean, simply put, there is a lot going on in this game, and as I say, I found it really difficult to keep this video on simple terms without going into immense detail because of how much there is going on. Because I really don't want to sit and make a video that I'm kind of giving an overview of the game about, where I'm going into extreme detail on every one of these topics. Anyhow, either way, you get enough favour with the Queen eventually, and you get your rewards and experience, and you move back to the world map, ready to start on the next village as you work your way outwards. The entire game runs in this storm cycle and progresses every time you complete a village. Once it's done, you finish the cycle and everything resets other than your gained experience and citadel upgrades. And like everything else in the game, the citadel upgrades list is extensive. But you also unlock things as you level up. You also unlock things as you complete the in-game achievements, which are called deeds. So there's lots of stuff to unlock as you progress through the game. And this really adds to its replayability, by the way. And all this variety that you get here on the world map then feeds back into the options you're making in the village. For example, you could get enough unlocks that you could focus down and do villages that are purely human based and really focus on keeping them happy to get more favour with the Queen. Obviously, keeping one group happy is much easier than trying to keep multiple groups of different races happy. However, you lose out on the special skills of those other races which give you particular resource and production bonuses. So you can truly play the game how you want, but you've got to balance things out. And the fact that you have so many choices and so much variety really makes the gameplay loop a lot more repeatable, because something different can occur every time you start over, and every time you build a new village, even if it's on the same biome type, different things are going to happen. Credit where credit is due to the devs, because one failing of many city builders or town management games is that eventually the gameplay loop simply becomes stale. You're doing the same thing over and over. Where here they've managed to extend that life cycle with all of these additional choices and random positive and negative effects that can alter how the game plays out. In summary, I've really been enjoying the game, and I feel like I want to progress and unlock new things, and I have to be honest, that's not always been the case for me in a roguelike game, so it's doing something right for me at least. Honestly though, I don't feel I can actually do the game true justice in a short video like this, because until you play and experience it yourself, I think it's very hard to understand how differently it plays to a lot of these other town builders or management style games, but how it also shares a lot of the core gameplay mechanics that you will be used to. So I leave you with this. The game has a demo currently. If you like town management games and fancy something with a bit of a twist, give it a go. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Remember, the tutorials don't give you the whole picture. The demo does allow you though to build villages after that initial tutorial to get a proper taste of the game. I advise you get yourself to that point and give it a go. Thanks for watching everyone. As ever, please do like, share, subscribe. Do share down below comments about how you found the game if you've played it already, or indeed what you thought of the demo if you go and try it after seeing this video. Anyhow, I will see you all soon. Have a great one.